Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Decoy Voice. Our Asian brother, covers news very similar to like Tim Pool and stuff, but like on a smaller basis. And he covered Johnny Somali. And I just want to touch base back with this guy and there's also a little bit of other things I want to touch on this video too. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
The American streamer in Japan that claimed he was Somalian filmed himself committing crimes with his friend not once but several times on livestream. Eventually, not only was he arrested, but his copycat accomplice was as well. Now, the original streamer has continuously been arrested, released, and arrested again for months now. But curiously, his friend has been released and is not only streaming again, but laughing about the not Somalian guy that still remains behind bars.
What? He's not Somalian? So he claimed to be Somalian and he isn't? Am I tripping out?
Yo, why am I laughing, bro? Holy that's not He's probably gonna be in jail for another two-ish to 6 months in jail. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine what this is going through. He gotta be getting his booty. I'm trying to tell you, almost. I can't answer.
Those are chances of it happening,
If
yeah.
I'm still in Japan or not.
So his not-so-cryptic
Really?
message claims that he is still in Japan, but his view on nuisance streaming in the country has completely changed.
I will no longer be streaming IRL in Japan. Look, now a lot of you guys can call me a... If you guys knew how hard the police were on how many videos they had of me and Johnny, you would know it isn't.
Yeah, they had every single video that you uploaded, like, because you're fucking idiots. Like, everything you've uploaded is considered evidence now, and they can just go into your profiles and just pull those videos for free.
Not safe to stream in Japan anymore. Bro, I mean, look at all the other IRL streamers. Sus is never going back to Japan. Homeless, I'm pretty sure, is probably never streaming it. Show quit. I don't know where the show went. Swimmer Nick got banned.
Now, isn't that interesting that harsh criminal punishments not only stopped the serial offender from re-offending, but discouraged all other instances of the same crime? It's almost...
Shocker! People facing consequences detours other people from wanting to do that same crime. What a concept!
like the justice system works exactly the way it's intended if you let it, because for whatever reason, Western society decided that they no longer had the stomach to watch criminals suffer consequences. As the elephant in the room is, why is this guy out but not the other guy? They documented themselves committing trespass several times together. They got arrested pretty much together. And with Japan's record of having a 99.8% conviction rate,
Jesus, that's crazy.
and they were looking at 3 years prison time for their crimes, one of them is out laughing about how ironclad the case is against his accomplice and is still hanging out in the country. While no longer able to make any money streaming, I don't think he's taking a vacation as much as he's about to sing some courtroom karaoke. And sadly, that's what needed to happen, as the first guy had been bothering the Japanese for half a year. Whenever he would get scared, he would pretend to apologize.
Sincerely apologize to the country and the people of Japan. It was wrong, it was disrespectful.
Then go right back to nuisance streams, but now inspiring.
This is why when I did that video with El Guapo and we talk about, Passport Bros, and we expect so much from you guys. We expect you guys to hold yourselves at a higher standard when you go to other countries. I think this is something that people don't realize. Any country, anywhere you go, you are the representation of you and your people and your family. Your skin color, your race, everything. You are pretty much the embodiment of your nation now when you go to other countries. Why? Because you are the first contact that these people have of your country and your people. When you act a certain way and you act sus, most people just brand that across your whole race. I believe this is what happened with the black African American community. There was a good chunk of the bad ones that really went out there and really affected other races so greatly. Now all other races kind of broad stroked black Americans as a, certain demographic. Is it right? No. Is it wrong? Somewhat, but it's human nature to be judging people like this. So this is why you go out there, you are respectful. You assimilate to the culture. You understand that you are a representation of not just it's America, because you're American. And then if you represent another race like me, I'm Cambodian, I would represent America and Cambodia every time I visited another country, in a sense. Right? And I don't want people to view my people as horrible people. So I would be on my best behavior. This is what I think people think, but I know people need to get a little bit better with. Like, everybody's so individualistic in the United States, thinking that anything I do is just me. No, you represent you and your culture and people that look like you. That's period. So be respectful and, again, carry yourself at a higher standard. So when people view you, they're like, damn, that American Cambodian guy was so fucking cool. He was wonderful. He was super nice, super respectful. I wonder if all Americans and all Cambodians are like this. That is how people think, guys. Give them a good reason to think about you, not a bad one.
More streamers seeking out Japan to panhandle pennies online. So now the Japanese have been cracking down on these types, where the LiveDoor article loosely translates to railway companies possibly restricting filming, specifically targeting filming for the purpose of commercial activities, targeting not only the nuisance streamers, but those streaming themselves, stopping those nuisance streamers. As you can remember the band of Japanese guys that went after the American troublemakers, where the guy in a blonde wig had a very specific tactic to use against him, but later seemed to team up with him to make content together, as he was later claiming he got into a police car without
Clout nowadays just ruins the youth.
permission, but then was taken away in a police car with permission. Now, I'm no expert on the Japanese legal system, but it appears they're going after everybody breaking the rules, regardless of who they are or where they're from. As there are plenty of people online that want to defend the American streamers, saying it's just because Japan is xenophobic and it's only happening because of their race. Or people even coming after me in my comment section, saying I must have a problem with an entire people just because of my coverage of one criminal. But notice how the Japanese police aren't just kicking down the doors of black English teachers just enjoying their dinner, or I've never done a video on someone quietly minding their own business on a subway. But somehow, people in Western culture have been trained to think bringing up race is like some sort of Harry Potter spell to make people back off of them. But too bad I don't really care what idiots online think of me, and the Japanese haven't been conditioned to compete in the Oppression Olympics.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's a lot of people that always throw race around. Like, I get called racist, and I get called like, oh, I'm, stealing culture from the black community and things like that because I talk on issues like this. And it's just like, everybody gets to talk about whatever they want. Yes, I do happen to talk about the community. I'm a big part of the community. I grew up in the community. Like, I dated quite a bit of women in the community, so I have an experience with it, and it's different from my community. And I always put it as a reflective light of how people view us. Even, from my race to that race to other races. I don't think what I'm saying is so outrageous that it only affects one race. It affects everyone. If you use your thought process to listen to what I say, it kind of works for everyone, because everything is heading towards a certain doomsday in a sense, and it affects everyone. So why do we gatekeep our race, gatekeep things like that? Like, if someone wore a Cambodian getup that was black, that just because they enjoyed how it looks and everything, I wouldn't call that racist or anything. I'm like, hey, fuck, go ahead, do your thing, man. People must enjoy your culture or enjoy the things that your culture does or whatever it is, to be wearing or to bring your clothes and wear your clothes like that. Yes, some people do make fun. I do agree. Some people make fun. But not everyone. Not some people just enjoy wearing a rice hat because it's a very, very well engineered hat to block the sun. Things like that.
At least they haven't put me in handcuffs yet, like they would in America, bro. Are you guys serious? That's racist.
Oh, shut up.
Cause my skin color? No. My skin color? My skin color? I'm American. My skin color? My skin color? No. My skin color? No. My skin color? My skin color?
As apparently this guy was getting his bike checked for registration, but then posted the video on TikTok complaining that the Japanese police were being racist, tagging BLM, to which people replied,
Dang, they are on it about registrations of bikes, aren't they?
on Twitter, this is just what happens to everybody's bike in Japan, where in large cities they will just randomly check you for your papers and had done so for decades, with others explaining that this isn't about race, it's about assimilating to Japanese culture. Because when you look at the Japanese YouTuber Takashi in Japan, he interviews foreigners talking about this all of the time.
They tend to be the kind of foreigner that is loud, kind of get looked down on by Japanese people, and that reflects on the rest of us, like all foreigners.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Get used to not being a loud foreigner. Get used to being polite.
As it seems most non-Japanese feel pressured to fit into the more docile society, but they do appreciate what it is compared to the West.
No danger whatsoever. People here in Japan are very nice. It really shocked me with how polite everyone is here versus America.
So no wonder stores in Tokyo
I can't wait to visit next year.
can be left entirely unattended under the assumption that you'll pay for your goods and go. Meanwhile in the States, everything must be locked down.
Isn't that crazy? Every time I go to Walmart and Target, like the most basic things are locked up. Just like, man, I can't even grab stuff and go. I have to hit a button and wait like 5, 20, 30 minutes for someone to show up to unlock the freaking thing for me. And people think that the US is so wonderful. Like,
As it's apparently a social media trend to just steal detergent for digital likes, which is likely why we're starting to see Japan is for the Japanese protest in the streets.
you see that, guys? Like, you act so badly in a foreign country. Now that foreign country is protesting all foreigners. That's the representation of what people see. So they saw Johnny Somali and all these other shitty streamers. They're from America. They don't even care that they're from America. They're like, now we don't want to deal with foreigners because you foreigners come here and fuck up our country. Which is, again, I also understand the side of Americans where they don't want refugees and foreigners coming into our country either. But it is quite different because Japan has never been an immigration type country. They've always been very secluded. Where we always have been an immigration type country. Right? I praise this country for allowing refugees, especially Khmer refugees during the Khmer Rouge. If it wasn't for them, like, this is what I said. My dad loves President Clinton. My dad, like, he is a red-hearted Republican. He is pure Republican, but he loves Bill Clinton. Why? Because Bill Clinton signed in the order to allow Cambodian refugees coming into this country. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in this country. So my father takes that very, very strongly, even though he is not even with that political side of things. So it's just take the advantages of being in the US, and it's not the same as other countries. You know, we were pretty welcomed here. You know, Cambodians were pretty welcomed here because we came. A lot of us worked hard and worked on from donut shops. A lot of people see Cambodians and they automatically associate us with donut shops. You know, so American did a wonderful job with it. It's just people. There's always going to be bad people that take advantage of systems, and I can understand how a lot of these Americans don't want more refugees, especially because they see them, a lot of them not working hard.
But back to the original subject of streamers getting potential prison time for petty crimes, surely that arrest would never happen in any deep blue American city, but absolutely zero deep blue American cities could see the safety that Japan has.
Yep.
And sadly, we live in a society that thinks you're a bad person if you point out why. But if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what happens when your race grift
That was some good chow. Travel, guys. Travel. Do your thing. But remember, you are a representation of you, your family, your culture, your country. Americans look bad already. We look pretty bad in most countries. So just the more of us that go out there and carry ourselves at a higher standard, the more that bad image kind of goes away. Does it go away immediately? No. Does it take a long time? Yes. It does take a very long time. But we got all our lives. You know, we don't really have to conform too much to the American standards of things. We just have to conform to whatever country and whatever, you know, culture we choose to want to stay in. All right? Remember, and you get to pick and choose. If you don't like the Japanese culture, you know, you go visit there. Doesn't mean you get to disrespect it. You get to be loud about it, and you get to do whatever about it. It's their culture. You can just always go to travel to another country where the culture might fit you better. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.